Remember a time when your energy felt limitless? Now it feels like a currency you're constantly running out of. You blame your schedule, your age, a bad night's sleep. But what if there's a thief operating in plain sight, stealing your energy at the source? It's not in your head, and it's not simply getting older. It's in your gut. Stay with me for the next hour, and we'll unmask this energy thief by exposing its 5 telltale signs, and I'll show you how to finally cut the cord. You've built a life of experience and wisdom. You've earned the right to vibrant, sustained energy every day. Yet too many of us in this stage of life accept fatigue as an inevitability. We observe the decline in stamina, the profound afternoon crash, the constant need for artificial boosts just to feel level, and we simply comply. We attribute these deficits to the calendar. But what if that persistent drain isn't the natural consequence of aging, but the result of a silent, powerful internal conflict? Your gut, this complex and intricate ecosystem, is often called your second brain because it governs so much of your physical reality. When it operates with harmony, it pays immense dividends in sustained energy and focus. When it spirals into imbalance, it costs you severely. This deep dive focuses not on temporary fixes or expensive supplements. This is about foundational wisdom, understanding the basic operating system of your body so you can make informed choices that yield potent, long-term results. We are going to fully explore the 5 key ways a compromised gut actively drains your energy reserves. Each sign we discuss links directly to a common symptom you may already be experiencing. If you find yourself nodding along, that is your body telling you this information holds critical value. Consider subscribing to Primetime Wisdom. We are dedicated to delivering the clear, evidence-based insights you need to live your later life with maximum vitality and purpose. Now, let's identify the first, most devastating way your life force is being stolen. Sign 1. The leaky fuel tank. You're not getting the fuel you consume. This represents perhaps the most deceptive form of energy theft. You dedicate significant time, money, and effort to preparing healthy, nutritious meals. You consume all the vitamins and minerals that should power your day. Yet the exhaustion persists. Why? Because a compromised gut functions precisely like a fuel tank with a massive unseen hole in the bottom. You pour the expensive, high-octane fuel in, but your body never absorbs enough of it to run efficiently. The energy thief here is poor nutrient absorption, medically termed malabsorption. Your digestive tract is lined with tiny, crucial finger-like projections called villi. Their precise job is to grab the micronutrients, the B vitamins, the magnesium, iron, zinc, and efficiently pass them into your bloodstream where they power your cells. When the gut is chronically irritated by stress, environmental factors, certain medications, or an imbalanced diet, these villi become damaged, flattened, or inflamed. They simply stop performing their essential function effectively. The consequences are immediate and deeply felt. B vitamins, particularly B12, are fundamental to converting the food you eat into usable cellular energy. Magnesium is critical for hundreds of enzymatic processes, including nerve signaling and muscle function. When the thief intercepts these vital components, you feel fatigued, mentally sluggish, and physically weak, even if you just finished a perfectly healthy, balanced meal. You are eating, but your body is quietly starving at the cellular level. How can you determine if the thief is successfully utilizing this malabsorption tactic? One key indicator is persistent, unexplained nutrient deficiencies showing up in blood tests, even if you are rigorous with supplementation. Another is low overall energy output regardless of how many calories you consume. Are you feeling like you hit a wall after eating rather than feeling energized? The deeper wisdom here instructs us that digestion begins long before you even swallow. It starts with your physical presence and attention.
The first simple strategy to counteract this fuel tank leak is to fundamentally improve how you approach the act of eating. Chewing is the forgotten first step of effective digestion. When you chew your food thoroughly, aiming for 20 or even 30 times per bite, you mechanically break down the food into tiny particles, making it far easier for the damaged villi to absorb those nutrients later in the small intestine. Crucially, chewing signals your brain to release the necessary cascade of digestive enzymes and stomach acid. If you quickly swallow your meals, the digestive system is rushed and critically unprepared. Your body misses critical opportunities to extract life-giving energy. A second strategy involves proactively diversifying your fiber intake. Fiber acts like a powerful prebiotic, providing the exact nourishment for the beneficial bacteria in your gut. These healthy bacteria, in turn, help keep the gut lining healthy and robust, which directly improves the function of those crucial villi. The energy thief thrives on speed and distraction. It relies on your habit of rushing. When you take the intentional time to eat mindfully, chewing completely, you are closing the first, most dangerous leak in your fuel tank. You are restoring the foundational ability of your body to convert quality food into sustained energy. This simple commitment is an investment that begins paying dividends in vitality immediately. Consider the last meal you rushed through. Where did that precious energy go? It went unabsorbed, wasted. Mastering mindful eating is the first essential step in reclaiming your power. Now, let's explore the second major, consistent drain on your energy reserves. Sign 2. The inflammation tax, paying for a constant, unseen battle.
Energy isn't just stolen outright. It is also perpetually spent fighting an internal battle you may not even know you are in. This is the second tactic of the energy thief, imposing a constant, debilitating tax called chronic, low-grade inflammation. Inflammation is fundamentally designed to be a short-term fire alarm. You injure yourself, your immune system rushes in to repair the tissue, it resolves the issue, and the alarm shuts off. In the modern, compromised gut, however, the fire alarm never silences. It rings quietly in the background, a persistent hum that demands a constant draw of metabolic energy resources. When the delicate balance of your gut bacteria is skewed, a condition known as dysbiosis, the immune cells that line your entire digestive tract become perpetually activated. They continuously produce cytokines, the chemical signals of inflammation, day and night. The body must constantly mobilize enormous resources, including significant metabolic energy, merely to manage this low-level warfare. This sustained, mandatory effort drains your energy reserves until exhaustion settles in. Imagine running a high-powered, demanding computer program in the background of your mental life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even when you are sleeping, that process is consuming immense power. That invisible power drain manifests profoundly as deep fatigue, but often it also shows up as unexplained aches, stiffness, and slow recovery, particularly in the joints. If you wake up feeling like you have already exerted yourself before you even get out of bed, the inflammation tax is very likely being levied against your system. This tax is disproportionately high because the immune system is perhaps the single most energy-intensive system in the entire body. When a significant portion of your daily energy budget is dedicated to managing silent gut inflammation, there is critically little left over for cognitive function, spontaneous physical activity, or emotional resilience. What is the sharpest sign that this tax is being collected? It is the confluence of persistent, nonspecific aches and stiffness, paired with slow recovery time after even mild exertion. You feel heavier, slower, and generally less able to bounce back than you remember. Why is your body always signaling distress?
To effectively stop paying this relentless inflammation tax, we must strategically give the immune system a strong reason to stand down. This involves proactively providing the specific building blocks for repair and simultaneously reducing the inputs of known inflammatory triggers. The simple, most powerful strategy here centers on two actions: immediately reducing high sugar and highly processed foods, and dramatically increasing your intake of omega-3 fatty acids. Processed sugars, refined grains, and certain vegetable oils are primary culprits in feeding inflammatory gut bacteria. Cutting back on these choices reduces the fuel that is feeding the internal fire. Then we introduce the fire extinguishers. Omega-3s, found abundantly in fatty fish like salmon, walnuts, chia, and flaxseed, are potent anti-inflammatory agents. They act as the chemical signals that specifically tell the immune system to calm down and initiate resolution of inflammation. Make it a daily commitment to incorporate a high-quality source of omega-3s. Another ancient tool for reducing the inflammation tax is the strategic use of specific spices. Turmeric, specifically its active compound curcumin, has centuries of history as a powerful anti-inflammatory. A simple way to integrate this is to add a small pinch of turmeric along with a dash of black pepper, which dramatically helps its absorption, to your morning eggs, smoothies, or soup. When we reduce the inflammatory burden emanating from the gut, the immune system finally gets a much-needed break. That freed-up energy is immediately redirected back to you, translating into improved physical stamina, clearer thinking, and significantly less generalized discomfort. Stopping the inflammation tax is absolutely crucial for achieving sustained vitality in the later stages of life. Now, we move on to a third way the energy thief creates chronic, oppressive fatigue, a tactic linked closely to the inflammatory process we just discussed. Sign 3. The toxin overload, the cost of constant cleanup. Imagine leaving your front door unlocked and slightly ajar, in a dusty environment. You have to constantly worry about what dirt and debris might wander in, and then you must spend all your time and effort cleaning up the resulting mess. That's precisely what happens inside your body when the gut barrier fails. This is the third, exhausting tactic of the energy thief: toxin overload, forcing your body into a constant, metabolically costly state of cleanup. We often describe the gut lining as a perfect barrier. It is a single, incredibly delicate layer of cells. When healthy, this barrier is highly selective, efficiently allowing necessary nutrients through, while blocking large, undigested food particles and particularly harmful microbial byproducts. Chief among these threats is a substance called liposaccharide, or LPS. LPS is a component of the outer membrane of certain bacteria, and it is highly toxic when it enters the bloodstream. When the gut barrier becomes compromised, a state often referred to as increased intestinal permeability, those tight protective junctions between the gut cells loosen. LPS and other bacterial waste products can then leak directly into the bloodstream. For the body, this event constitutes a 5-alarm biological fire. The moment these foreign invaders enter the circulation, the liver, your body's primary essential detoxification organ, must immediately jump into aggressive overdrive. The liver is tasked with the massive, energy-intensive job of neutralizing these toxins and preparing them for elimination through the kidneys and bowels. This massive, unexpected workload requires immense, continuous metabolic energy. If this breach, this leak, is chronic, the liver is perpetually bogged down. It starts spending nearly all its available energy on toxin cleanup, instead of on its other critical functions, such as regulating blood sugar levels, storing energy reserves for later use, and producing bile for effective digestion. The resulting fatigue is heavy, oppressive, and often feels like a general sense of internal toxicity or malaise. Do you often feel internally dirty or sluggish even after resting?
A key sign of this toxin overload can be difficulty losing or managing weight, or the appearance of unexplained, persistent headaches and skin issues. The body desperately struggles to manage the toxic burden, and sometimes attempts to push these accumulated toxins out through secondary routes like the skin. To effectively counter this energy theft, our wisdom dictates we must strategically support the natural detoxification pathways, freeing the liver to use its finite energy for everything else. We are not endorsing expensive, restrictive detox kits or extreme fasts. We are talking about sustainable, evidence-based nutritional support. The first, simplest strategy is non-negotiable hydration. Water is the essential solvent of life. The liver requires ample, clean water to flush neutralized toxins out via the kidneys and through the digestive tract. Make a commitment to drinking clean, filtered water consistently throughout the entire day. Often, what you perceive as physical fatigue is simply low-grade dehydration, compounding the liver's already monumental struggle. The second core strategy involves providing the liver with key nutritional helpers. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts contain specialized compounds that specifically support the liver's phase 2 detoxification pathways. Aim to deliberately incorporate these vegetables daily, lightly steamed or roasted, which makes them easier for a sensitive gut to digest. We must also briefly reiterate the importance of minerals like magnesium and specific B vitamins, which function as essential cofactors for detoxification enzymes. These are the specialized tools the liver requires to chemically convert harmful toxins into harmless waste products. If the thief has stolen these crucial nutrients, as we discussed in Sign 1, the liver cannot efficiently perform its cleanup duty, leading to deeper, chronic fatigue. By prioritizing sealing the gut barrier and providing supportive, targeted nutrition, we significantly reduce the liver's constant cleanup duty. This frees up vital, necessary energy, taking the entire body out of continuous crisis mode. When the internal defense is strong and the input is clean, the cleanup crew can finally rest, and you immediately reclaim the energy they were unnecessarily spending. Before we move on to the next sign, if you are finding this depth of practical, foundational information valuable, please take a moment right now to hit the like button. This simple action tells us that this type of foundational health wisdom is important to you, and it ensures that this knowledge reaches others who may be suffering from the same relentless fatigue and lack of answers. Sign 4. The sleep debt cycle, the thief messing with your night shift. You are committed to getting your full 8 hours of rest. You make a point to go to bed at a reasonable time. The room is dark, the temperature is cool. Yet you wake up feeling fundamentally unrested, as if you never truly entered deep, restorative sleep. This deep, persistent sleep debt is the fourth, debilitating tactic of the energy thief. Your gut is literally disrupting your body's critical night shift. Sleep is not merely rest, it is essential metabolic recovery time. It's the period when the brain clears waste and toxins and cells repair all the damage accumulated during the day. If the quality of your sleep is poor and fragmented, you start the very next day already behind, perpetually in debt. The surprising connection here lies in two critical neurochemicals, serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin is the essential precursor to melatonin, the hormone that powerfully regulates your entire sleep-wake cycle. Where is the vast majority of your body's serotonin made and managed? In the gut. When the delicate gut microbiome is severely unbalanced, the natural production of these key neurotransmitters is profoundly compromised. You may not produce enough serotonin during the day, which directly means you cannot produce enough melatonin at night. The frequent result is chronic insomnia, difficulty staying asleep throughout the night, or a restless, non-restorative sleep pattern.
Furthermore, physical gut inflammation itself can directly interfere with the central nervous system, keeping the body in a low state of alert even when you are physically trying to rest. The body cannot transition successfully into the deep, restorative sleep cycles needed for true energy renewal and repair. The key sign here is waking up feeling profoundly unrefreshed, often combined with strange night's restlessness or difficulty drifting off in the first place. You might feel heavy and sleepy during the day, only to become suddenly wide awake and anxious as soon as your head hits the pillow. To break this vicious, exhausting sleep debt cycle, we need to strategically support the body's natural ancient rhythm, which relies heavily on proper gut-based chemical production. This is about regulating your circadian rhythm using wisdom that respects your foundational biology. The primary strategy is the strict, intentional management of light exposure and meal timing. Exposure to bright blue light from phones, tablets, computer screens, or even overly bright indoor lights in the 2 hours directly before bed inhibits critical melatonin release, compounding any existing gut-related deficiency. Implement a strict digital sunset and commit to using dim, warm lights in the evening hours. The second core strategy involves strictly timing your food intake. Eating a substantial meal too close to bedtime forces your digestive system to work heavily when it should be winding down and resting. This activity elevates core body temperature and inevitably interferes with the essential onset of sleep. Aim to finish your last meal or significant snack at least 3 full hours before you plan to go to sleep. This gives the gut adequate time to process the food and successfully transition into its nightly maintenance phase. A third intervention involves the mindful consumption of specific nutrients earlier in the evening. Foods naturally rich in magnesium and certain complex carbohydrates consumed earlier can significantly aid in physical relaxation and support neurotransmitter production. A small bowl of low-sugar berries with a teaspoon of fiber might be helpful, but consistently remember the 3-hour cutoff window before bed.
By meticulously optimizing the inputs, controlling light, and timing food, we effectively help the gut succeed in its nighttime mission of producing restorative sleep chemicals. When the gut achieves health, the night shift runs smoothly, and you finally wake up with the full energy reserves you need to tackle the day's tasks with clarity. We are now approaching the end of this comprehensive deep dive. Let's address the final, often most frustrating tactic of the energy thief. Sign 5. The mental battery drain, cognitive burnout, and brain fog. We have saved the most immediate and visible form of energy theft for last. It's the dense, heavy afternoon slump that hits you with the unexpected force of a brick wall. It's the sudden inability to focus intently on a book, the frustrating lapse in memory during a critical conversation, or the sheer cognitive effort required just to complete a routine task. This is the mental battery drain, and it proves definitively that the gut is your true second brain. When the gut is significantly compromised, it doesn't just steal physical stamina, it steals precious mental bandwidth. The fatigue you feel is not just muscular, it is an exhausting, pervasive brain fog that steals your sharpest moments. This cognitive theft occurs through the gut-brain axis, a complex, powerful bidirectional communication highway involving the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs directly from the brainstem down through the chest into the abdomen, and it is constantly relaying detailed information about the precise state of your gut. If the gut environment is inflamed, severely imbalanced, or actively leaking toxins, the vagus nerve sends continuous, intense distress signals straight up to the brain. This prolonged signaling creates neuroinflammation, inflammation in the brain tissue itself. Think of your brain running hot, spending excessive energy simply managing internal discomfort and chemical signals of profound stress. This continuous drain costs you tremendous, vital cognitive energy. Every simple decision becomes harder and more labored. Focus requires massive, unrelenting effort. Creativity wanes.
The sophisticated parts of your brain that regulate mood, emotional control, and complex planning become starved of essential resources, leading inevitably to heightened irritability, anxiety, and that profound feeling of mental exhaustion long before the working day is over. The clearest, most immediate sign here is the persistent brain fog itself. It's the feeling that your thoughts are running slowly through thick molasses. You might also notice unexplained sudden changes in mood or a sustained increase in anxiety without any clear external trigger or cause. To effectively recharge the mental battery, we must focus intensely on calming this critical communication highway and rapidly reducing neuroinflammation. We need to physically and chemically soothe the vagus nerve itself. The number one strategy for regulating the vagus nerve is diaphragmatic breathing. The vagus nerve passes directly through the large muscle of the diaphragm. Slow, deep, controlled belly breathing is a direct, undeniable signal to the nerve, instructing it that you are safe, calm, and that the internal fire alarm can be immediately turned down. Practicing just 5 minutes of deep, slow breaths several times a day can literally reset your internal stress response and dramatically reduce the cognitive energy drain. The second core strategy involves providing the brain with the precise right fuel and chemical defense. The brain demands specific, healthy fats, particularly omega-3s, which we discussed earlier as powerful anti-inflammatories, and abundant antioxidants. Eat deeply colored fruits and vegetables, dark berries, kale, spinach, which flood the system with compounds that fight neuroinflammation and protect precious mental energy. Finally, consider the power of fermentation. Fermented foods like plain, unsweetened yogurt, kefir, or quality kimchi introduce robust colonies of beneficial bacteria that can communicate positive, calming signals back up the vagus nerve. This is not about a quick magic cure, but a biological feedback loop. Good input leads to positive nerve communication, which leads to lower internal stress signaling and ultimately conserved mental energy. By directly and intentionally addressing the gut-brain link, we take away the energy thief's ability to create cognitive burnout. This is the absolute key to regaining the mental sharpness and essential focus that allows us to fully engage in our lives with wisdom and clarity. Reclaiming your energy, putting the pieces together. We have now fully exposed the 5 core tactics of the energy thief: the leaky fuel tank of malabsorption, the inflammation tax of constant immune defense, the toxin overload requiring costly liver cleanup, the sleep-death cycle disrupting crucial rest, and the mental battery drain causing profound brain fog. Each one is designed to rob you of the profound vitality you deserve in these prime years. The wisdom of the later years is realizing that the most profound, lasting change often begins with simple, sustainable adjustments to your foundational systems. You do not need a restrictive, revolutionary new diet. You need a strategic approach to food, hydration, and rest that honors your deep biology. A common objection we hear frequently is, "I'm in my 60s or 70s. Is it truly too late for my gut to change?" The answer, backed by overwhelming modern scientific evidence, is a definitive no. The human microbiome is remarkably plastic and adaptable throughout life. Though profound changes may take a little longer to consolidate than they would for someone decades younger, your entire gut ecosystem can shift dramatically within weeks or months of consistent, beneficial changes. It's never, ever too late to make this foundational investment in your health.
Another serious concern involves necessary medication. Many people rely on necessary prescriptions that can inevitably impact the gut environment, such as antibiotics or common pain relievers. If you are taking necessary medication, it becomes even more critically vital to actively support the gut with high-quality, diverse whole foods and lifestyle practices. Your body needs every advantage it can possibly get to mitigate the potential side effects of necessary interventions. Talk to your primary care provider about thoughtfully incorporating high-quality probiotics and ample fiber to support your system alongside your prescriptions.
This informed strategy is the very definition of wise self-advocacy. To successfully begin this journey of reclaiming your stolen energy, do not make the mistake of trying to implement all 5 strategies immediately. That road leads to burnout and overwhelm. Wisdom dictates starting small and strategically. Choose one area where the thief appears to be stealing the most from you. Perhaps you will commit to the simple 20 chew rule at your next meal to start fixing the leaky fuel tank. Perhaps you will add a concentrated tablespoon of ground flaxseed or walnuts to your morning routine to start paying down the inflammation tax. Perhaps you will practice 5 minutes of intentional diaphragmatic breathing today to soothe and reset the mental battery drain. Every single one of these actions is a powerful vote for better health, a small but significant rebellion against the energy thief. The goal of primetime wisdom is always to equip you with the deep knowledge necessary to make your remaining years the most vibrant and purposeful. The secret to enjoying lasting, strong relationships, the internal strength to build a meaningful legacy, and the mental sharpness to enjoy newfound purpose, all of these essential elements begin with foundational, sustained energy. By intentionally listening to your gut and understanding the critical language of your body, you empower yourself to live the wise, robust life you have worked so tirelessly to achieve. If you found profound value in this essential deep dive, please subscribe to the channel right now and ring the notification bell. It is the best way to ensure you never miss our upcoming foundational guides to long-term health and well-being. Share this video with someone who you know is tired of being chronically tired. Your energy is not a casualty of age. It is a vital resource to be strategically reclaimed. The thief has been unmasked, and its tactics are now known. Now let us restore your vitality brick by biological brick. Go forward and live with sustained strength.